Don't charge at me, Tyson. Drink associated.
In an era where everything is top secret until it's not, it seems like even Jake Paul and Mike Tyson couldn't escape the drama. Yeah, their new leaked sparring footage has taken the boxing world by storm. Rumor has it that the sparring footage was part of a Netflix docu series set to release in 2024 ahead of their blockbuster fight. But you know how leaks are, no one can keep things locked up forever. I know what you're thinking. What went down when Mike and Jake finally went toe-to-toe in the ring? Well, keep watching, because we've got the round-by-round play right here for you. Let's break it down. All right, fight fans, now let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this wild sparring match. Mike Tyson may be older, but he's still fighting like the beast he always was. And Jake, well, he held up until he didn't. Here we go.
Day two, we're getting ready for you. One, two, three, four.
As soon as the bell rang, it was like both fighters knew they were in for something big. The energy in the room was insane. But the first round, it was all about feeling each other out. Tyson was moving like a predator, testing Jake with some quick jabs, showing he still has the speed. Jake, you could tell, he was cautious, trying not to get caught in Tyson's web, keeping his distance and throwing a couple of jabs to keep Tyson from closing in. Jake's movement was solid. He's been improving with every fight, no doubt, but Tyson, he's built different, man. Even at his age, he had this presence that just screamed danger. You could almost see Jake trying to process what he was up against. No major hits in round one, but Tyson's footwork and defense still top-tiered. Jake was hanging in there, but the tension was already building. Round two is where things started to get a little more interesting. Tyson came out more aggressive, starting to close the gap, and Jake had no choice but to step it up. This wasn't some YouTube beef. This was Mike freaking Tyson, and Jake had to fight smart. Tyson landed a couple of body shots early in the round, and you could see Jake feeling them. Dude's tough, no doubt, but the power behind Tyson's punches is something else entirely. Jake was sticking to his game plan, moving, keeping his guard up, and staying away from Tyson's heavy hands. But it was becoming clear that Tyson was just waiting for his moment to pounce.
Don't charge at me, Tyson. Drink associated.
At the end of the round, Tyson unleashed a massive uppercut that came dangerously close to connecting. Jake dodged it, but you could tell he was shook. It was like Tyson was sending a message. I'm still the king in here, kid. Here's the wild part. Round three was when Jake actually had his moment. I know, right? No one expected Jake Paul to land a clean shot on Iron Mike, but he did early in the round. Jake found an opening, and bam, he landed a solid right hook on Tyson's jaw. Tyson took it like a champ, but for a split second, you could see the surprise in his eyes. Jake's confidence shot through the roof. After that, he started pushing the pace, jabbing more, trying to stay in Tyson's face without letting him get too comfortable. But here's the thing, you don't poke the bear and expect it to go easy on you. Tyson took that punch like it was a wake-up call, and suddenly he was on the hunt. By the end of round three, Jake's little victory lap was over. Tyson started throwing more combinations, and Jake had to backpedal hard just to avoid getting cornered. It was clear that this wasn't going to end well for him if he didn't stay sharp. Get this, round four was where the tables really started to turn, fam. Tyson came out of his corner like a lion ready to feast, and Jake, well, he was still in it, but you could tell he was starting to struggle. The thing with Tyson is once he smells blood, it's over. Tyson's body shots were brutal in this round. Every time he landed one, you could see Jake's whole body tense up. The dude's tough, but Tyson was breaking him down slowly but surely. Jake tried to keep moving, but Tyson was cutting off the ring like a pro, trapping Jake against the ropes a few times, and making him work just to stay alive in there. One thing I got to give Jake credit for, though, is his heart. Even though he was clearly feeling the damage, he kept throwing punches, trying to stay in the fight. Tyson's power and experience were just too much, though. You could see the exhaustion creeping in on Jake's face by the end of round 4. By round 5, it was all about survival for Jake. Tyson was turning up the heat, landing shots to the body, the head, everywhere. Jake was doing his best to hold up under the pressure. But man, it was getting rough. Tyson's combination game was on point. He'd throw a couple of jabs, then sneak in a hook to the body, then follow up with a massive overhand that had Jake's head snapping back. You could hear Jake's corner yelling for him to move to stay off the ropes, but it was easier said than done. Jake tried to counter with a few punches of his own, but at this point they were mostly defensive. Tyson was in full beast mode, pushing the pace, controlling the ring, and showing everyone why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Jake was hanging in there, but you could tell he was running out of gas. Round 6 was when things really started falling apart for Jake. Tyson was relentless, man. It was like watching a lion toy with its prey. Every time Jake tried to catch his breath or get some space, Tyson was right there, cutting him off and throwing bombs. Tyson's hooks were landing hard, and you could see Jake's legs wobbling after a couple of them. At one point, Tyson landed a vicious body shot that had Jake almost doubling over. The man was in survival mode, just trying to make it to the end of the round. But let's be real. How long can you survive when Mike Tyson is coming at you full force? Jake's defense was slipping, his punches were getting sloppier, and it was clear that he was just trying to hang on. Round 7. This was the beginning of the end, folks. Tyson was stalking Jake like a predator, and it was only a matter of time before he caught him. Jake was visibly exhausted. His movement slowed down, and Tyson could smell the coming. Tyson started picking his shots more carefully, waiting for the perfect opening. And when Jake's hands dropped for just a second, Tyson unleashed a brutal combination that rocked Jake hard. The crowd, and probably the entire internet, went wild. You could see Jake trying to stay on his feet, but it was clear that Tyson had him on the ropes, literally and figuratively. Jake's corner was yelling for him to keep his hands up, but there was nothing left in the tank. He was surviving on pure willpower at this point. And then it happened. Round 8 was Tyson's final move. After a series of powerful jabs, Tyson lined up the perfect shot, and uppercut straight to Jake's chin. Boom, Jake hit the canvas, and that was it, knockout. Now, here's the crazy part. Y'all, this sparring footage wasn't even supposed to drop yet. It was meant to be part of a much bigger docu-series that Netflix is dropping ahead of the big fight on November 15, 2024, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul at the AT&T Arena. Yep, you heard that right. This isn't just any fight. This is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. And Netflix was planning to build that hype with this exclusive behind the sun content. Put this 04956. They're out here giving us a full-blown series on how this fight came to be, what's been happening in training camps, and of course that wild sparring session where Jake got coded by the legend himself. The docu-series was supposed to drop in phases leading right up to fight night, and let's be real, people are going to eat this up. The fact that we got a sneak peek at this sparring session, it's already sent excitement through the roof. And that's just a taste of what's coming. Netflix has been killing it with sports documentaries lately, and this one is no exception. The hype for this fight, it's on another level. The AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas is one of the biggest arenas in the country, but even that monster of a venue is struggling to keep up with the demand. We're talking sold out in minutes. People are scrambling to get their hands on those golden tickets, and resale prices are already skyrocketing. If you're trying to see this fight in person, good luck. But hey, whether you're in the stadium or watching from home, it's clear this is about to be one of the biggest fight nights of the decade. Put this for the fight world. This is a huge deal. It's the merging of generations, the blending of traditional boxing with modern entertainment. And it's got everyone's attention. Boxing experts, celebrities, YouTubers, athletes, everyone is talking about it. This fight is going to draw in fans who might have never watched boxing before, and it could even change the landscape of the sport. Moving forward, November 15, 2024 at the AT&T Stadium. That's fight night, baby. And if this sparring footage is anything to go by, we're in for an absolute show